I said, today's class, the second half of the class, I will be talking about folding the hip joints and the quad sitting. And this is actually is a request from Vivian. And I really appreciate this and give me the opportunity to explain this really simple and yet and a very troubling concept for most people who practicing Tai Chi. I don't know why. That, including myself, when I first started. And so before we talk about so-called quad sitting, let's just talk a little bit about the body, okay? And I actually get a stool here so I can explain this better for you. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, the stool here. It's a high stool, right? And here's the regular stool. So we're first talking about so-called hip joint. What is hip joints? And in Chinese, we call it Qua, Q-U-A. And the Qua or hip joints means your femur bone connect to the pelvis. And the weight at the top of the femur bone is like a little Y, and but the inside is longer than the outside. Outside is much shorter. Maybe I should do this way. So, but on the inside part, on the top, it's like a ball shape. It's rounded, and that goes into a socket in the pelvis. So you can, if I show you like this, it can turn, right? This is a ball, and this is a socket, so you can turn. So it makes it very flexible. And where the femur bone and the pelvis meet, that's the hip joint. And I hope everyone got it. And if not, Google it and then say hip joint image, and then you will see all kinds of images. And actually, you can buy a model made with plastic, like $20 something, and it shows how the hip joints, is constructed. So that's how it is. And so we understand now, this is the head of the femoral head, and it's a ball, and how should I say, the pelvis has a socket, so you can turn. So allowed us to sit, right, to bend. It is so when it sit, it bends like this way. So here is a book. This is by Martin Malish, and I never had the honor to meet this author. But this book was published several years ago by Singing Dragon. It's a very brilliant book in my mind. And Tai Chi Chuan is very simple. However, I mean, simple in the eyes of people who never learned it. Looks very simple. But when people actually trying to learn it, it becomes very difficult. And if you ever tried, you know what I mean. And Martin's book, he used so-called imagery to show you how all this maneuvering can be done. So I thought it was brilliant. And one way he explained the hip joint, he was saying, okay, so this part is like your your pelvis, and this part is your the femur bone. So when you fold it, see you fold it just like you fold a book, right? Like this, okay? Open and close, open and close. You with me so far? Okay. So when you think about it, when you sit, you fold your hip joint right away. So that's not a problem. So when I say fold your hip joints or sit your quad doing a form, that's what it is. And if you're standing, I guess standing is more difficult to feel that. And I would suggest you put your hands on your inguinal creases or where the hip joints are, okay? And then if you bend your knees a little bit and then you sink your body, feel it, it is folding, right? If you're sitting lower and lower, it folds more and more, okay? So here's, I need to use the high chair. Remember, I always say at the beginning of either we're doing the A section or broken, or we're doing the sparrow's tail or chin 18, I say keep your knees softly bent and then feel like you're sitting on a high stool. So if you're sitting on a high stool, it's like this, okay? You don't lean forward. You sit, keep your upper body upright, and you sit on it. But your hip joints or inguinal creases is slightly fold, right? And human beings' body is very interesting. It's all connected. If you are standing, okay, and if you want to fold your hip joint, and but if you keep your knees locked straight, it's impossible to fold your hip joint unless you're doing like this, right? But Tai Chi or sideways, you're doing like this, the tabletop. But at Tai Chi Chuan, we always ask people to keep the back upright. So the only way you can keep your back upright and fold your hip joint is by bending the knees. That's why we always say, during Tai Chi practice, you keep your knees softly bent, at least. If you want to go lower, then you just bend your knees more, okay? Any questions and comments? See, that's the problem with a streaming class. It's hard to get the instant feedback for you guys. Okay, and but it doesn't matter which style of Tai Chi Chuan you practice. You don't have to go very low, but you have to remember the basic fundamentals is you keep your back upright, you keep your knees bent, and you don't want to stuck your butt out. And at the same time, you don't want to tilting your pelvis forward. And some of the exercise, like aerobic exercise, they ask people to tilt the pelvis forward. And you can play with it. When you're tilting your pelvis forward, in this part, the inguinal crease or the hip joint is kind of locked. And then once it's locked, it's no longer flexible. You cannot turn. So we always want to feel like, it's relaxed. And that's why another term for sit qua or fold qua is called song qua. Relax the qua, relax your hip joint. And so once you fold it, it becomes relaxed. And then you can turn easily, okay? So there's some, okay, Vivian, thank you. Excellent, Marilyn. That was a good video. Thank you, Mary Jo, and for the feedback. Okay. So again, if you can feel your own inguinal creases, your hip joints, and then let's practice this together. And there's another things, and which trouble me a lot, and also trouble so many people is people think, okay, when you fold your right side, that means your weight has to be on, your body weight has to be on right. No, actually, see, I'm folding right, but my weight is on your left side, right? And vice versa. So that's another misunderstanding of many people. They equivalent say the folding the hip joint is the same as placing your weight on that side. No, they are totally independent of each other. And so let me put these things away. Let's try it. Okay, do a simple silk really. Now your body weight on your right side. Fold your right hip joint. So yeah, in this case, of course, right now here, both hip joints are folded. But if I fold right more, I just say fold the right hip joint, yeah. And then you see naturally your body will turn to the right corner easily. Now I shift to the left. I'm still looking at the right corner, right? And now I fold left hip joint more. So my body turn. And I shift to right and fold. Right, shift left, fold left, shift right, fold right. Okay. Good. Do you feel it? Feel how your hip joints are moving? And then if you cannot really feel it with your arm there, let's just put the hands at your hip joint and fold right, shift left. Now you fold your left a little bit more, feel it, and shift to your right. And fold right more. And shift left. Fold left. And shift right. Feel? Okay. I think that this is a very good way for you to really sense your body. And it is interesting. We all use our body. For me, I have used this body for decades, right? But a lot of times we don't really pay attention to it. We don't even know what they are doing. They're doing a lot of work, hard work for us every day, even when we sleep, but we don't know what they do. Okay, I mean, when I say they, I mean all the body parts. And we don't even feel their existence until one day they heard it. We say, oh, actually you are there, right? And that's the sad part. So just empty your mind and really feel your body. Okay, fold, shift, fold, shift, fold, shift, song right, shift left, song left, shift right. Again, I use another word, song, but song, set, fold, all means the same thing. And I hope that make sense. If not, let me know. Okay. Then you say, yeah, I see how you do it. I see it. The master, they look great. And but what matters, right? Why it matters for sitting the car? Well, it does matter. And as we talk about Tai Chi Chuan And the reason it's called Tai Chi Chuan is because we continue to, how should I say, transit from the yin to yang, the yang to yin. Yang is solid, the strong. Yin is the soft and gentle one. It's continuous change. And then if you look at the Tai Chi emblem, and the center line is a S shape, right? So as they are turning like the S shape. So if we just say, okay, here is the right side is solid, and I shift to left, if I'm shifting way like this is like a seesaw, whoop, 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 right? But if I fold my hip joint, I create the infinity pattern or the S pattern, whatever you want to call it. And it create that pattern. You say, I don't subscribe to the Taoism or whatever, why it matters. And you know what, for your health, and it is important we do the transition like this, because it has been proven while we're doing this type of weight transformation, right and left, the serotonin and dopamine in our brain will increase its secretion. Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to be healthier? So you should try it and just pay attention. It is not difficult. It is just, how should I say, paying attention. Infinity pattern. Yes, thank you. Yeah, you like that. Okay, so it's very important. So we do that. Okay, of course. Some of you practice for years of the Tai Chi Chuan. You understand Tai Chi Chuan is a martial art, and in martial art, we want to use this kind of a circular movement, and to deflate the attack from outside, right? And then it can also create a so-called twining energy, the spiraling energy, and make us more powerful and strong. So there are millions of reasons why we should do that. And maybe I should write a dissertation on that because you can explain the things from all different angles and a different level, and why it is important. So I don't care how high, how low people can kick and can squat doing the Tai Chi. But if they cannot even sit in Kwa correctly, you know what this snobbish person is going to say? You're doing no Tai Chi. But this is very common. I have seen so many people, and so many of them are so proud they can kick really, really high, and they can punch really, really hard, but there is no Kwa sitting, and they don't even know if they practicing Tai Chi Chuan, so-called Tai Chi Chuan. That way, they can actually injure their knees. So very important. Sitting Kwa. Sitting your Kwa, and then turn your body. Back many years ago, and then there was an instructor came to me and saying maybe he should not be teaching Tai Chi anymore because of his age. And well, I look at that gentleman, he actually is younger than I am. And I asked him, I said, why don't you want to do that anymore? As we all know, Tai Chi Chuan has great health benefit. Why don't you want to continue teaching? He said, well, because my own knee hurts. there are many different reasons why people's knee hurt, right? And but one of the reason, and especially when he was telling me when he practiced Tai Chi, his own knee hurts. So I asked him, I said, well, in Tai Chi Chuan, we say turn right, turn left. And then can you show me how you turn right, turn left? So he just turned like this. Okay. He's turning on the waist. And when, I don't know if you can see that. When I turn like this, see, I pull my knee in, and it feels so much stress on these, the ligament and tendon. It's really bad. And like this, and sometimes people then pull the knee in. But if I keep my knees bent, remember, you can only bend your hip joints if your knees bend. You just keep your knees softly bent. You don't have to bend a lot. Then you can fold your hip joints. When I fold my hip joints, notice my knees seldom, hardly move at all, right? The knee still goes the same direction as the toes. It's important the knees go the same direction as toes. So you can try it yourself. Turn to your right, and by folding the right, and now folding the left, you put hands at your hip joint and feel it. And your knees don't move. If your knees are just going wacky, and that's a problem. And recently, I have a new student, and when we were doing silk reeling, I can hardly do it. Her knee was like this, and her hip was going like this. Okay, so I did not say, well, why do you do that? I just say, we don't do that. And then she had a very good question. She said, doesn't the book or whatever says our knees going like infinity, the S shape? I say yes, but it is not the way you do. We do this because this you're going to injure yourself. And if you watch slowly, notice my knee. My knee is moving, right? It's very gentle. If you trace how my knees are moving, you see that pattern, the infinity sign or the S sign or whatever, right? So that's how it is done. It's very subtle and gentle, but this creates the so-called the silk reeling energy, the spiraling energy. It's not like this, okay? So again, during your own practice, and pay attention how your knees, their disposition, okay? It doesn't matter, Qian style, Yang style, Wu Hao, Sun style, He style, any style. Safety is number one. If you cannot protect your knees, then I would say, don't even do it. Knees are precious, okay? And so really make sure you take care of them. And you take care of them by really mindful and really feel how they move. Yeah, it is not difficult. Seriously, it is really not difficult of folding the hip joint and folding the kwa or sitting the kwa or sung kwa. Sounds complicated, right? With all these names, but you just have to how should I say, try it and practice a little bit. Then you say, oh, it is so easy. And that's it. I got it. Let's see. And Lorraine, your explanation are so helpful. Thank you, Lorraine, for your feedback. And so Any questions? Keep them coming, okay? And again, Vivian, I really appreciate that you put yourself out there and asking questions. If nobody asks questions, I don't really know what you're thinking and you're feeling, your experience, and so forth. So please ask questions, okay? Yes, sometimes I will say something, and it's from my experience. But I thought I covered it all, but um, I welcome questions. Thank you very much for coming. Oh, so we have another 4 minutes, and that clock is a little bit, uh, I should say, quick. So that's good. And how about let's just practice a little bit um, this cross sitting, okay? Putting hands here and fold your right, shift left, fold your left, shift right, fold right, shift left, fold, shift, fold, shift. Don't you get a euphoric feeling already? It's so relaxing. You say, no, I'm not relaxed because I'm trying to feel my hip joints. I know what you mean, but give yourself a couple more minutes and you will feel, yeah, the dopamine is making you happy. And then you also feel relaxed. This is extremely meditative. Meditation is you focus on nothing but one thing. You don't have the random thoughts running through in and out. You focus on your movement. You focus how your hip joints feel in their movement. Good. Keep going. And then once you're doing well, you know you're doing a good job in folding the hip joint. You can add an arm, spiraling and silk reeling. Now you're turning the silk. This is very precious. You're turning the silk for yourself. And go slow. Breathe in and out softly. Nothing is more important than your own breathing. So breathe in and out softly and enjoying it. Let's go for 2 more. Change arm. Left arm out. Fold left. Shift right. Fold right. Shift left. Good. Slowly and moving. Gently shifting your weight. You can see your own hip. It's making the infinity sign. Yes. You see your hip is going and drawing that line. And then that's silk reeling. Down by your hip. At the same time, You can see the right knee is drawing small infinity sign. Very gentle, very small, but it's very clearly you're doing that. Good. And actually, this kind of a gentle movement, and it gives your knee kind of a good exercise, right? If you don't exercise your knees, it will be rusted. Good. And feel your right knee the same way. It is drawing small infinity sign. Good. Keep going. Very nice. Let's go for 2 more. And last one. Hands down. Circle. Tap on your legs. Relax the legs muscle. Okay. Today's class, we have gone much deeper, and this is a more high level instruction. I hope you can tolerate it. Some people, especially beginners, don't have the patience. Like, I want to move my legs and my arm. And so if you actually stay on the last 30 minutes and to listen to this and working with me, give yourself a big hand. Yeah. And pat yourself on the back. Okay. And Gil, good morning. I know it's mighty early in Australia. And thank you so much. And okay, well, Jerry, also thank you for joining us. And I see you all Wednesday. Wednesday is a Qian Star Tai Chi Day, and we will continue to work on the Qian Star 18.4. Okay, bye.